the thrill of being in an open cockpit and hearing that motor in front of you. I don't know what their criteria was for making that choice, but I'm glad it was the criteria that got me picked. I'd go do it again. Anytime they want to go, I'd be doing it. So I was the maintenance technician on the airborne fire control system. One in particular that I was trained on in the Air Force, the F-101 Voodoo. The 101 did not carry any guns of any kind. It was just Sidewinder missiles, but it was an ultra fast. It was at that time that it was the fastest aircraft. It was 1,500 miles an hour. The air base that I was located at, Oxnard Air Force Base in California, is 3 weeks before your discharge date. They would arrange a ride in the back seat because they worked on them every day but never got the ride in. My 3 weeks time period started. I got a call from headquarters saying they had screwed up. This airman had less than a week before he was to get out, and would I give up my slot for him? I said, sure, because I figured, he's the same boat I was in. I mean, he worked on them and wanted to fly, and that I would get another shot. I never got that shot. They canceled all those kind of flights, and so I never got the ride in a 101. I really missed that. I would have loved to have been able to fly in the back. From what I understand, talking to some of the pilots, they did put the aircraft through some good maneuvers. When they had somebody in the back seat for a ride, they'd stay down on the deck, still in ABs, until they picked up a lot of speed, and then they'd just pull the nose and go straight up. So I understand that was quite thrilling. And I've sat in a 101 with the canopy fully down as we taxied down to the end of the runway for an engine run-up, and when they close the canopy, it shuts out a lot of noise, even the engine noise. But on the biplane, no. Everything is there for you. The engine is there, the wind coming over the wings, but just the thrill of being in that airplane, thrill of being in an open cockpit and hearing that motor in front of you. But until he got out onto the runway and went full throttle, yeah, that was an experience. I mean, it was loud, and I immediately felt the air going over my head. You're kind of open. It's not like I've flown in some small planes with other friends being the pilot, and none of them was anything like this flight. This was totally unique. When he's taxiing out at low speeds, he's doing a serpentine movement because he can't see the runway in front of him. When the aircraft is sitting like this and I'm sitting up here in front of him and he's sitting back here, he can't see the runway. So he's got to turn the aircraft to the side to be able to look down, see where he is on the runway. So that was interesting, but then when he got around the corner and lined up with the runway, he revved the engine up full and released the brakes, and off we went. Once he made the final turn way down at the far end, and as we made the turn, I could see the air museum, and the 747s that were sitting out there, and he was flying right at them, and then he got right up to it, and we flew right over him, turned and came back in. The landing was, I couldn't have imagined it to be any smoother. He didn't bounce at all. He just set it right down and then set the tail down on the ground and taxied around. It was really nice meeting the men and women that were responsible. The way they worked together and their concern for me and everything was just over the top. Really appreciated that, and I appreciate their efforts and time that they put in for doing that.